We're working over a turtle attacks and defenses, yeah, for these first weeks. And we're going to be looking at the counters, the most basic, most classic back taking moves from here, right? But just for context, guys, let's talk a little bit about it. So when Michael's going to be on his back, when Van and I were coming up, there was this this was trending a lot when we were coming up. It's like a passing from reverse handler. So, we would find ways to backstep and then right from this position here. Right? And this was trending a lot when Van and I were in the lower ranks. And then it stopped trending. People haven't done this in a lot of years, but I think the reason that it stopped is because of the advancement of leg lengths. Because people were like, well, instead of doing that, why don't I just go for knee bars in the gi, or no gi, why don't I just go for saddles? It's like a shorter route, a quicker route, and it's just a more dangerous attack, right? Whereas if I went a little bit higher towards his head, it's going to be harder to achieve, and then there's not the same submission threat, right? So I think that's why I kind of stopped trying. But with that said, this position here, guys, is actually a very strong position, right? And it follows a lot of the rules that we follow when we're passing the guard. The first rule is that we have pressure on our partner. Second rule is that we are zigzagging our partner. So Michael is looking away from me, his legs are pointing towards me, his spine is crooked. I still have my shoulder pressure, all right? And then from here, I have a lot of different options. So I can't submit Michael, right? So if he starts to go for underhooks and stuff, I can look to transition to kimuras from here. From here, I can look to sneak out to his back. So I have a lot of strong options from there too. So it's actually, in my opinion, a really good position, even though it's not trying, right? And we're actually going to do this today. One word, what you're going to see, John. Gotcha. You're going to see today. We're going to do it today off of our turtle escape. But before we do the turtle escape, guys, I want everyone just to drill the basic entry, right? So we're going to be hip on hip with Michael. And then the gi, it's a little bit easier to see. My belt line should be on his belt line or below. I should not have my belt line above his belt line, because then he can take this arm out, no, this one, and he's gonna either go for a single leg, or he can look to dump me, or he's gonna grab around my waist and he can start to chase my back, right? So he can sneak out the back door. So for those things not to happen, I'm gonna be here hip on hip with my elbows, right? This hand, guys, I don't wanna have it too deep, okay, because then he can wrap my elbow and he can roll me over very easily, right? And now I end up on the bottom, right? So for those things not to happen, all right, I'm gonna be below him, and now this arm is gonna be like a small underhook, and now I'm gonna either grab his gi, or I'm gonna grab right by his hip. This hand is either gonna start to look for his neck, or in the gi, I can do 4 fingers in the collar, all right? Now, there's always gonna be a little gap between his elbow and his knee, and in that little gap, I'm gonna penetrate my knee. So it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna step my knee all the way through. I'm going to lean on Michael so that his foot pops up, and I'm going to step over his foot. As soon as I step over his foot, I'm going to fall over towards my right shoulder. As I do that, I'm going to peel his leg. He's going to force him to fall. Bottom hook goes in first. I'm going to escape my hip. Michael's going to be covering up. I'm going to find my seatbelt, cross my knees over his hip line, open him up, and then I'm going to put the hook. Alright, so we're just going to do that. Just back and forth, just kind of finish the warm up, and then today's class is going to be on how to counter this. Alright? So once more, we're going to be here, I'm hip on hip. This knee goes right in between. As it goes in between, I'm going to step over his foot. And either I have these grips here, for my friends I like these grips, this is really good. Alright, or you can do the seatbelt right away. Alright? And then now look, I'm going to fall to my right shoulder, and look at my foot, watch my foot. I'm going to peel it back so Michael falls over. My bottom hook comes in first, right away, nice and tight. Then I'm going to escape my hip with my knee too, cross my feet, open him up, and put the second hook in. And the way this move works, guys, all right, is when I'm here, I need to take away a post, right? So when I'm falling, I'm taking away the shoulder post. No, I'm taking away the shoulder post when I'm falling. My foot on his foot. As I'm doing this, I'm taking away the leg post, and that forces him to take a hit. Otherwise, he risks hurting his own knee, right? So he has to fall over, and then when he falls over, I put my hooks. Cool? So let's just do this back and forth for 5 minutes, and then after this, we're going to counter this move, and then we're going to see. I'm going to surprise John with that reverse half guard. Let's see what's happening. Alright? There is a major mistake that a lot of people make on the classic back flick. So let me show you with Ross what it is. Alright, so when we're here, go ahead, Ross. You see here, we got the first hook. Great. So here, when we fall over, guys, everyone is going to cover like this, right? No one is going to do this because no one wants the second hook to come in easy. They already got one hook. Why am I going to give them an easy job? So I gotta make myself small here, and I'm trying to cover so he doesn't get the second hook, right? So Ross, right, the way he's crossing your feet, Ross, this is incorrect. You see, nothing is blocking my top hip. So I can even high step, and I can even look to chase. Like, this is not that realistic, but it can happen. I could even look to chase, for example, a nice knee bar right over here, right? So for this not to happen, and for him to have a better control over me, his knee has to be over my hip, and now he's gonna cross his ankles. Perfect. Now look, since this knee is blocking the hip, look, I can't highlight. If it's below, I can highlight, you know? And now, if I start to like push myself, let me do it. If I start to like push myself to this direction, I even have like knee bars and I have leg attacks on this side. You know what I'm saying? If it's a little bit loose, it'll be easier for me to do it. Even if I don't hit the knee bar, it doesn't really matter. I can look to escape, and I can look to disassemble his back position, all right? So when we have the person's back, guys, so we have one hook, and he's covered up, okay? Don't cross below the hip. Cross above the hip and pinch your knees. And in MMA, people stay here because Ross, move around a little bit. It's very hard for him to move, all right? But in MMA, people look to attack people from here. I can hold him here even better a lot of times than with the hooks. Because with the hooks, we all know we shouldn't cross the feet. No, forget about that. We shouldn't cross the feet. And now he can start to kind of wiggle and stuff like that because we're not crossing our feet. All right, yes, well, there's a full lot involved, but we're not even talking about that. Just something completely different, all right? So cross your feet over the hip line. Cool? Let's go try this. You see it at the highest level. You see it at the world championship level in some capacity, right? Last time we saw the transition, same as we were doing last week as well, right? So now we're going to look to disassembly. Okay, we're going to look to countering. Just one more error that I see a lot of people making, all right, is this is the error, guys, all right? Don't overdo it, because actually the move that we're going to do today is going to be to overdo it. So the big error that a lot of people make is this. And then they something like that. Number one, you know, you're wasting a lot of energy. Number two, you're letting the person off the hook. More movement is not better. All right. I need the seatbelt. I need the hooks done. I don't care. So I don't need to overroll or spin the person more than I need to. All right. So now let's see what happens when I'm on the receiving end. Okay. So I'm here in the turtle position. All right. Michael goes for a seatbelt. He puts the knee. He steps over my foot. Pause. Guys, a lot of people, what they do is they'll put the knee, and a lot of people they'll take this hook and they're gonna put the hook over the top. Excellent. Pause. This is very different. All right. If he does this, I'm in a lot of trouble. All right. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later. But initially, when he goes over my foot, there is one piece of good news. One piece of good news is I know where the bottom hook is gonna be. I know that it's gonna be this leg is gonna be his bottom, his knee. And the other good news for me is this leg is completely free. He's not doing anything to that leg. There's nothing happening. So first thing is I'm gonna bring my thumb into his choking hand. All right. I need to defend my neck at all times. Right. Now, when Michael falls over, as he falls, I'm going to do a big pendulum with my left leg, and then I'm going to land, John, you guessed it, in the reverse half guard position. So I'm going to force him to overroll, and I forced him to break the rule. The rule was he needs to get which hook to you? Put the camera on. Which hook? Which hook does he get when you take? Which hook do you take when you take your back teeth? Which hook? Bottom. Thank you. Bottom. See? Camera's on him, he knows everything. Camera's not on him, you shot. So T, my number one guy, he knows and everyone knows that the bottom hook has to come in. Michael's not the bottom hook. Good news for me. From here, Michael, like, if he holds on for dear life, maybe he will. This is not a good idea for him. Hold on for dear life. All I have to do is scooch back, and when I scooch back, the hands are gonna open, right? But people that know jiu-jitsu, they're not gonna hold you. They're gonna start to frame at you. Regardless if he holds you or not, you need to move up. So now I'm gonna grab right into his pants, right here, and right at the knee, and I'm gonna start to move myself up. And when I move myself up, I need to free my knee line. My knee has to be visible, guys. If he's covering my knee, all right, don't overcomplicate it. Just use your hands and push so that the knee is free. Now that the knee is free, guys, notice I'm on one side. I'm gonna create a little space, and I'm gonna put my hand in between Michael and I. All right, so my hand is now just on the floor like this. You can use an open hand, or you can make a fist. And now I'm gonna control the pants, and I'm gonna step over my own hand. And as I step over my own hand, I'm now in a perfect knee cut position. Because my knee was visible, I was able to knee cut him on the way. My knee on the floor, I'm going to cross face Michael, use his hand for balance, grab right into his armpit pocket, pull him in, give him a nice shoulder kick, take my foot out, and now I pass the game. All right, so I turn his turtle attack into my own guard pass. Cool? Once more. So Michael is here. He's going for the seatbelt. I'm defending myself as best as I can. My finger, my thumb, is as close to his wrist as possible. All right, don't grab too high, because he can go for a clock choke, he can start to go for, exactly. So go here, so that go for a clutch with Michael, you can intercept the hand, all right? Now, as he falls, you have to time it, and you have to ride the wave, and you have to go all the way to the opposite side. One thing that I have to do, guys, is I gotta land on one hip. Don't land on both butt cheeks, because then Michael can step over, and he can let some mouth on you, all right? So for that not to happen, land sideways like this, all right? So if he tries that, it's gonna be very hard. Now, he's gonna let go, he's gonna start to push on my back, but before he's able to do that, I'm gonna scooch up. I need to create space. And look, this hip is up there, all right? Now, I'm gonna move a little bit to the side. There's a little pocket between him and mine. I'm gonna put my hand into that pocket, and now I'm gonna step all the way over to the opposite side, and I already have a really strong under. Now all I gotta do is find my cross face, pull Michael in, do a nice shoulder pressure, kick, take my toe out, and now I got my guard. All right, one more time, guys, here we go. One more time? All right, Michael's gonna do it on me now, and I'll narrate from my point of view. All right, so I'm here with Michael, all right? I'm going for it, as I'm going for it, he's gonna grab my thumb. Good, I'm stepping over the foot. Now as I fall, he's gonna ride the wave, he's gonna go all the way here, all right? Notice this hip, guys, is up, all right? Guys, for the newer students, don't have your legs like this, because he's gonna pass your guard like that, like on that side, which is not gonna happen. So I'm gonna cross my feet, I'm gonna let go, my hands are on his back, he's gonna scooch up. As he scooches up, now there's a lot of pressure on him. He's on my sternum, my shoulder pad, I can't really move. His knee is visible, he's gonna put his hand in between him and I, step over to the opposite side, and now he's in a beautiful, beautiful knee cut position. He can finish it in various ways. He's doing a variation that is really good too, and he's gonna be able to press me. Cool? All right, any questions, guys? Guys, for the newer students, if the first, some of you, I saw the first original backstake was still like 80%. Let's get that to 100, then getting this to 80 and this one to 55, all right? So stick to the very first one, all right? Let's go, guys. 1, 2.